What's up, guys? I'm Frosty the Sandwich. Welcome back to Marvel Rivals. Today I'm bringing you another Celestial VOD review. This time I played Magik, and I did really well this game. There were a few moments where I definitely could have played better. My positioning was bad, and I died for it. So I thought I'd showcase this game because there's some good things to point out and some bad things to point out. And I know it looks like we're hovering to more here, but that's only because our Black Panther player was originally hovering Magik. As soon as he swapped over, we knew we were going to play Magik, so we went for a Luna ban. If you plan on playing Namor, definitely don't ban Luna. Their synergy is really good together. And the first two bans are Storm and Wolverine, and then we get Luna and Hulk, which are kind of like the top four bans that I typically see. So there's nothing crazy going on in the ban phase this game. So we started this map on attack. I think Magik is maybe a little stronger on the attack side than she is on the defense side, but I think she's still good in both roles, and I do stick with her throughout this match. But on this map in particular, you definitely want to go into this back alley way, which Namor was clearly aware of and trying to deny me, but then he kind of just steps away and gives me the space, which was a little weird. But if they do that, just walk in, and now I basically get to stand on the sidelines of the enemy team and just poke at them. Magik is really strong on this point for a couple of reasons, and one is just because there's so many spots where you can kind of just hide and make sure they can't shoot you, and you can still swing your sword into the alleyway and get hits on people and make yourself a nuisance. And in fact, we were so annoying that Star-Lord decided to try and push in and actually take a 1v1, which is kind of in our favor if the enemy team doesn't follow him up. And that's sort of what you want to be doing as Magik, is just constantly harassing on these sidelines and see if you can get people to try and engage you in 1v1s, because you should usually easily win those. And then farm your ult by just swinging your sword into the thick of the enemy team, which is another thing we were doing there often. One cool trick you just saw me do is the alternate fire charge up slash cancel into E. That basically instantly killed that player. It's something that's really good on her ultimate, and you should definitely be doing it. I know I've showcased the fact that you can cancel the whirl attack into E, but you can actually cancel any of her cooldowns into the E. So basically, the main one that you want to use is that charged up alternate fire. If you cancel that into E, you can actually outright kill certain supports in their ultimates as well. It's a huge amount of damage. And you'll definitely look for me. Basically, I try and use my E immediately when I ult. That way I get the cooldown back before the ult ends, and I get two uses of my E, because it's an incredibly powerful tool, inside and outside of her ultimate. Here we're probably a little too pushed up, and yeah, our team just isn't doing a good job pushing up lane with us, and we're just trying to create space. But this is the part I was talking about where I think this was just too aggressive by me. I think I honestly still should have, despite the fact that I'm basically trying to create space for my team to push up, and there's just too much. That Loki basically is holding down the fort back there, and I really wasn't impactful. I gave them an easy kill, so I let them farm their ult off me, and I didn't find any value out of it. So that was definitely a misplay on my part. I should have had presence to mind to, if you're going to do this tactic, you need to keep vision on where your team is and push when it's actually going to be impactful for them. Like right now, it's not going to be, it'll be a little more impactful because there's like one or two people on cart, but if they're all the way back there and I get a kill in the back line, it's not going to do anything for them, honestly. So yeah, my main issue is I should have stuck with my team in this point of the game, and I do eventually back off and just stick with my team, which is what I should have done earlier, and we probably would have pushed the cart a little sooner if I had just decided to play with my team and start focusing down this group, because he was doing a very good job just making it a nightmare for my team to walk forward. Even without the rest of his team behind him in some circumstances, he was basically able to hold off my team. Here we get another ult. We tried to go for that Loki and get an instant kill, but we just missed. Thankfully, the enemy team didn't really have presence of mind to defend their healers, so they kind of just let us kill their healers for free. I mean, they still do have a rocket up, but taking out Loki and Cloak and Dagger is enough, I think, to really force the enemy team back in. At this point, they basically have to give us point. They'll just stagger more if they try and come in, really. And so we are basically looking to push in and get aggressive again, because we know we're going to get this point. So if we can maybe get a early kill and stagger them even harder, we might get some free space here. But unfortunately, there's just too many of them when we go down. I don't necessarily think that was terrible positioning on my part, but I could have timed my cooldowns better to live there. That's for damn sure. Here we're just coming back in. Another thing I haven't discussed is, and I don't know if you're going to see another example of this, but you should have seen one earlier, is you can actually cancel her charged up alternate fire by using one of your portals. So if, and one of the common things you'll see me do is I'll just charge it up around a corner and just randomly yeet it around a corner. I really enjoy just throwing it downrange and randomly getting kills sometimes. It feels really good, but it's on a short enough cooldown that most of the time you are okay. It's okay to just throw it downrange, but if you're looking to initiate and you want to save it, and you have it full charged, you can actually portal to cancel it and save that cooldown. And the cooldown on the portal comes up even faster, so it's really not that big of a deal to use. Huge ult here, but they do have enemy support ults down, so we didn't get any big kills until we pushed them away, and now we basically pushed them all the way up to where the cap point is, so we're just going to hang out here around this wall and defend it. You could potentially push in and create even more space if you wanted to here, but I think this was a better decision, especially with how my team was playing. At the beginning of the match, I was doing exactly that. I was pushing way up, and I was kind of getting punished for it because I just didn't have the team synergy to be able to be doing that. And sometimes as a Magic player, you need to just recognize that the flanks aren't working out. Play inside your team. You're an incredibly strong character when you play with your team. She's not just a flanker. And there we just barely didn't get the second point, unfortunately. And that's, you could say, well, maybe you should have pushed in there. I probably would have just died. My team just isn't aggressive enough to really facilitate plays like that. And here we just need to do a good job on defense. And as just a complete 180 from what you saw in attack is I immediately tried to push through this back building. Here I'm trying to defend this back building at all costs. If you let them just walk around you guys for free, you're probably going to go down really quickly and give up this point really fast. So definitely hold this left side over here. If you give it up, it's game over usually, especially against good players. And I mean, they just tried to send 3 people behind, and that would have definitely been probably curtains for this point if we let them do that. So you always need to have presence of mind to be defending over there, but you still also need to be defending the main choke too. So like your team is kind of split here on this point, and it can be somewhat difficult to defend if you don't have a mobile character like Magik that can kind of just roam around, allowing her to basically defend off angles, but also still show presence in the main lane when you need to. A little bit of my group prejudice showing through. Can you tell I'm a group player? Take those Thornlash walls out. I don't care if you won't build shield off of them with their auto attacks, but you still need to take care of them. They deal a lot of damage if you let them stay up, and this was a good group player, so we definitely needed to be taking those walls down as quickly as possible. Here we're showing presence in the main lane again because it looks like the full team's there. So we know nobody's going to really try and flank us. They're just trying to brute force it at this point. Get a big ult off behind cover, and then we're going to look in for some healers here in the back line. That's typically what you want to be doing with your ultimate, is either healers or DPS. As you can see, we just took a DPS there very quickly, but we didn't really have presence of mind to back away when our ult was done there like we should have, so we died again. That's another positioning. I absolutely could have lived there if I had just backed away when my ult ended. You don't get this like vulnerable state when you shift out of it, like you do when you shift into it. You'll be fine. Just go for cover. Here we are, again, just showing presence on point, as you can see, not looking for any fancy flakes or anything, just looking to push them back off of the cart, take out those Loki decoys, so he can't get easy. The less decoys he has, the less options he has to teleport away from you when you're actually attacking the main Loki. And sometimes just taking out a random decoy can help one of your teammates win a fight against a Loki, because he was relying on that teleport, and when it doesn't happen, he's just a sitting duck and he dies. So yeah, no, and I'm sure most of you guys know that at this point, especially at this level of gameplay. But again, take out those decoys. And again, we're right back up here at this choke defending it, because the enemy team basically gave us space to push back up to this point. And I'm honestly kind of shocked they didn't all just try and run down. It's a lot faster to go up through that building than to run straight down Main Street, but the enemy team, for whatever reason, did decide mostly to take Main Street. But here, we are literally in front of the entire enemy team, but we're using the cart to deny line of sight, to soak up some of the damage, still swinging our sword into the thick of them to get our shield, and it also gives us enough to farm our ult so we can do stuff like that. And we didn't really find any big kills there, but we applied a lot of pressure to the back of the team while the front of the team was sort of engaged, and I think that it kind of basically made them fall apart. And then we found a pick on Loki, I believe. Yeah. We took out the Loki to try it, and then ideally you take 2 healers there, but we didn't quite manage to do it, so we did go down. But I don't necessarily think that was bad positioning on my part, more or less just execution. If I had executed a little better, I probably would have lived there. I forgot I just randomly sniped that Star-Lord. And that's, again, just charge up that alternate fire and throw it into the thick of them. You'll be shocked at how many times you'll just randomly get kills. It deals a lot of damage when it's fully charged. And so if there's a DPS or a support chilling at half health and they're giving you line of sight, you can easily kill them. Big combos there. Kind of danced on that Star-Lord a little bit. And Star-Lord can give you some problems as Magik because he can flip over, but I think this Star-Lord just maybe wasn't used to the matchup, because I don't think he flips over me a single time to try and dodge my stuff. And he's probably not a bad Star-Lord player. He's GM. He's just probably not used to dealing with Magiks as much. I think Magik's really strong. I just don't see that many of them at higher elo. I think she's definitely like a high risk, high reward player character, in my opinion. And if you don't have a lot of time on her, you'll probably just feed the enemy. So yeah, there's that. Another huge ult. We're just looking to apply as much pressure. They should all turn and kill me here, and they don't. This is honestly the enemy team's fault. Nothing special that I'm doing here. And despite the fact that I didn't really find any kills there, I still applied just so much pressure to them for free that they kind of crumble after this. Like, you can't just let an enemy Magik chill on your ass and keep swinging at you. She's gonna have 400 health and deal a huge amount of damage to your squishies. Another thing you're gonna see me do is I really have started enjoying using the demon even in the thick of enemies over the world, because people just don't even see it, and so they'll let it wail on them. Like, if you get that demon positioned properly on a team fight, you'll just generate shield for free. You'll get to 400 shield for basically free, deal a lot of damage to them, and it's just a lot of sustain. Like, you can so I just did it there, and you can see I basically almost instantly went up to 400 health, and I can go do something else while it's happening too. That's the coolest part. So I was free to ult there. Huge ultimate here too. I didn't realize how many kills we got in that ultimate. But yeah, that is, the demon is kind of crazy, and you should definitely. They did just. They're gonna nerf it a little bit. It went from 80 damage a second to 72 damage a second. But in my opinion, I don't think that was nearly enough to make it not as busted as it is. And essentially, what you want to do is you wait for them to bunch up like they did there. Throw the demon into them and then dive past them. The demon's gonna give you a shitload of shield so that you basically win a fight against a DPS or a support for free. Let that demon do its work in the back line, dive past them, and go try and take out a healer or a DPS while you have that overshield, and then go back into the fight and pop another demon in it. The demon will keep you sustained way better than that whirlwind attack. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this content, please like, comment, subscribe. It really does help me out. Till next time, stay frosty.